One of the biggest challenges that people face when starting a new service business is figuring out how to price their services. They worry that if they charge too much, they're going to scare clients away and not be able to build their business. Or if they charge too low, that they're going to be working really hard for not very much money. So in this video, I want to show you a simple way where you can start pricing your services without overcomplicating things and get your business off the ground. Hi, I'm Dr. Marcela, and I am a business strategist and coach. And on this channel, I share practical tools and strategies to help solopreneurs build their service business without burning out. So let's get started. As a new business owner, learning how to price our services is one of those key decisions that are going to help us to get our businesses off the ground. It's really important to think about pricing, but it's also really important not to overcomplicate it and not to let that get in the way of actually going out there and selling your services to your clients. Okay, point number one, pricing doesn't need to be perfect. A lot of new business owners really worry about getting pricing wrong, and it delays them being able to launch into the market and try out their services and start working with clients. Initially, when you're just getting started, even if you have a lot of expertise that you are now using to be able to sell services to clients, you may find that your pricing is very different to how it's going to look like once your business is very well established and your confidence has grown and you have testimonials and you have momentum. The key to remember here is that pricing is actually completely subjective and there isn't any right or wrong. You need to decide what feels right for you, what you feel confident charging, and to also relax and remember that you can change your pricing anytime you want. It's your business. You can go lower if you want to, you can go higher if you want to. Honestly, there is no price police that's going to come and get you if you get it wrong. There isn't such a thing at all. It's more about understanding how you and your services fit into the market and how you confidently charge what you know you are worth. Pricing is something that actually evolves as your business evolves, as you get more testimonials, as you start building your confidence, and as you start gaining that momentum. That pricing will evolve also. The second point is to start with the value of the service that you are providing. So most service business owners, when they're starting out, they think about the hours that they're working and that's how they charge. But actually in business, we need to focus on the value we're providing, not on the amount of hours we are working. Clients actually care so much more about results than the amount of time that you are dedicating to a particular thing. If you think about it, if you're able to solve a problem in a shorter space of time, that client is going to value that more than if you were to take a lot longer. And so we need to start really focusing on that value and the transformation we're able to deliver and start thinking about pricing according to that. So with that in mind, if you are someone that's able to solve a problem in a meaningful way that's efficient and it's going to save your client time, that becomes very valuable. So it's important to start thinking about the problems you're able to solve and to separate that from the amount of time that's taking. For example, if you're a health coach and you help people in their 40s to regain their health, their energy, their vitality, and that means that they are able to live life on a completely different level, that has a lot of value. And so it's really understanding what is the specific problem you're solving for your customers, what is the transformation you are delivering, and what is the result, the value that they gain from being able to achieve that by working with you. When you are starting out, it's okay to start charging an hourly rate to begin with so that you understand how the value exchange works. But please try to keep in mind the result and the transformation that you are providing for your customers and really try to switch your model into that as quickly as you can so that you don't get trapped in that time for money exchange, which becomes very difficult to sustain and is not scalable. The third point is to do a little bit of research. So there is a market for what you're offering for the most part, unless you're inventing something completely new, which is less common. But you can have a look at the market and see what's on offer. It doesn't mean that you have to price according to the market necessarily, but as a beginner, that is a good place to start. So you can look at people that are providing services similar to yours and to position yourself and to try out some of those prices and see how you feel and see how it lands with your potential clients. One interesting thing that I have found in terms of my own personal experience as an entrepreneur, but also all of the clients that I work with, is that pricing is often more a reflection of our own confidence rather than our expertise or what our clients are willing to pay us. There's a saying by someone called Simon Alexander Ong, which is that there are two sales that you need to make. One is the sale to your client, but the second one is a sale to yourself. If you don't fully believe in the service that you're offering, if you don't believe in the value you provide, if you don't know if you can provide that transformation, and you want to price highly, that's going to be very difficult because there's going to be an energetic mismatch. So you really need to be able to believe in what you're offering. And one way to do this is to do it in a gradual way. You can grow into your pricing. You don't have to get to that ideal price that you want to charge right away, because that can be a process in and of itself, whereby you learn to trust that you can deliver that value. You start gaining testimonials, you start getting feedback, and as your confidence grows, your prices can follow that as well. Number 4 is to start really simple and to adjust later on. You are completely allowed to start at whatever price feels good to you. And that can often be a very low or introductory price, because as I explained earlier, we need to build that confidence and we need to have some kind of tangible results for us to know that we are able to provide those services and we can provide that value. Many successful service providers have started their services with very low introductory pricing, and they have gradually built that up as their confidence and expertise grows. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And in fact, that's going to help you get to those higher prices quicker, and it's going to help you feel so much more confident. You can literally start by creating a very simple package that delivers a transformational result for your clients. You can test it out with a few clients at a specific price point, and then you can adjust and evolve as you start getting real-world experience. But don't try to figure all of this out in your head without actually testing it out in the market, because then you will run into the problem of having analysis paralysis, because you're not going to have any real-time data or feedback to feed the way that you make your decisions. If you feel really confident with your pricing from the get-go, that's great. Go for the price that feels good to you. What I often recommend to new service providers is to start with 2 to 3 pro bono clients where they test their ideas and their services for free in exchange for a testimonial and feedback. Then you can try a very reduced price, maybe let's say 50% off for the next few clients. Then you can have maybe 30% off for the next few clients, then 20%, then 10%, until you get to that point that you have in your mind. That's a really great way to do it, because you know that you're working towards something, but you're building your expertise, your experience, and your testimonials from your clients in the meantime. And honestly, there is no better way to refine your offer and the way that you're able to deliver your services than by actually doing it instead of just thinking it. One thing is to have your expertise in your head, and another is to actually know how to deliver that to your clients. So go out there, get practicing, get some clients, get some real-time feedback, and you will notice that this will give you so much more confidence to start charging what it is that you actually want to charge. In my coaching business, I have had so many different prices, from really cheap hourly rates and promotional introductory offers to high-end coaching packages. I have been able to sell at every price point, and I wouldn't say that one is harder than the other. But the main thing in terms of charging at the higher end is that I needed to have confidence in myself that I could deliver that type of value. And that came with practice. It came with having more experience, and it came with growing into my business and the confidence to be able to deliver that value for my clients. One thing that I want to address is this whole thing around charging high ticket. You may have seen it online, a lot of marketing gurus pushing people to charge high ticket without having any kind of nuanced information about their particular business. I do agree that charging premium and charging well for our services is crucial, and that is absolutely what I aim to do and what I help my clients to do as well, because we need to charge what we're worth and we need to charge the value that's related to the transformation we're offering. However, when we are just starting out, we need to understand our place in the market. We need to understand our positioning. We need to understand our value. We need to develop our niche. We need to test and refine our offers. We need to grow our confidence. We need to develop that mindset. And all of that takes time. So yes, of course, we can get to that point where we can charge our worth, And that is absolutely the aim, but it's okay to grow into that. So please, if you are out there thinking you need to charge this high ticket thing and you have no idea how to do it and you feel anxious, please relax. You can always change your prices later, but you need to just get out there, start practicing, and start seeing what it's like to charge for your services. And then you can gain momentum and start building up to charging more. 4 or 5 years ago, when I started coaching, I wouldn't have been able to confidently charge what I charge now because I didn't have enough experience. Not only experience in terms of coaching, but experience in terms of marketing, of sales, of how to prepare and sell an offer, how to take a client through a transformation process. I didn't have any testimonials. I didn't have any tangible results. And so my confidence was low. And so for me, doing it in a gradual way where I could transition and evolve my pricing was so much more in alignment with who I am. And it felt so much easier to be able to get clients and to be able to get my business going and gain that momentum. So to summarize, if you are just starting out as a service provider and you don't know what to charge, firstly, please do not worry. There isn't a perfect price that you need to come up with before you launch. You can just pick a price that feels good to you, and you can then evolve as you grow and as you gain momentum. Your prices can always be adjusted, and you can always pick a price that feels good to you because it's your business and no one is going to come and tell you that you need to do it differently. Start to focus on the value of the problem that you're solving instead of the hours that you're working, because this is what clients ultimately care about the most. And so when you start making that mindset shift, you can start pricing accordingly, and it will separate your pricing from the hours that you're working. You can have a look at the market and see what the price points are for the kind of service that you're providing. And that can give you a good starting point. But then you can, of course, adjust it to your own expertise and your own experience as your confidence grows. And finally, start simple. Start getting yourself out there. Start actually working with clients. You will find that this is the easiest way for you to understand exactly how much it is that you want to charge for your services. It's not going to come from theorizing about it. It's going to come from getting out there, practicing, delivering value, and really building your confidence as you start getting that feedback and those lovely testimonials from your clients. I hope you have found this helpful. If you're a service business owner and you'd like to learn more strategies, insights, and tools, do check out the description below, because I do have some free resources, online workshops, and other materials that can help you to grow and scale your business without working more hours. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Take care. Bye.